live. What up, brother?
We're live, baby.
Dennis, what up, baby?
You.
So, first of all, I'm excited because we've been talking about this for a while, and finally you're here, and with a lot of different news that we're gonna talk about after. But thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having me, bro.
You're out, and you put in a little trek too, so I appreciate you trekking out here.
I'm happy to be here, bro.
Bro, the Friday traffic is terrible.
Yeah, and the weather's been getting a little nicer.
I know, so
it's
everybody's
pretty
out.
bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's bad. But I love this part of Brooklyn.
You come here often?
I've come here a few times, maybe like 10 times in my life, but I do like it.
It's nice, right?
Yeah.
Nice little Park Slope area. Okay, I told you a few seconds ago. Something the world doesn't know about you from previous interviews that you've done.
Okay. We're going right into the COVID story?
Right. All right, let's get into the COVID story then.
So I had gotten COVID like 3 weeks before I fought for my Ring of Combat title in 2020.
Okay.
This was before COVID hit the news or anyone knew what anything
When
was.
was your title fight?
February 2020.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So this was,
Yeah.
the world shut down in March, you know? I had gotten a really bad cold at the time, and everyone in the gym was getting sick. So this kid from Italy came. He was living with me and Al in the house. He came coughing. I'm like, yo, why the fuck you coughing so much, bro? You know? Looking back at it, it's like, yo, this fucking guy had COVID, bro. He's patient zero, this motherfucker.
Oh, from Italy, too.
From Italy, bro.
Yo,
he came on the
they had
plane
crazy
coughing.
cases.
Yeah, bro. He brought the shit. Me and Al get super sick, but I'm in the middle of camp for my fight. I'm cutting weight. I'm training 2-3 times a day. I'm killing myself. And then I get super sick. I'm like, fuck. And this fight, bro, they had like 4 or 5 pullouts on this show at that same card because everyone was getting so sick. It was crazy. I remember the matchmaker, Frankie Perez, for Ring of Combat. He was like, yo, I remember at the time, because this is before COVID, we didn't know. He's like, yo, I don't know if someone put a hex on this shit or the devil himself. He's like, this shit could not have gone any worse, bro. He was telling us. You know, it was so funny. So everyone was getting sick. But anyways, doctors put me on antibiotics. I was having the breathing problems, like trouble taking a deep breath. So they gave me an albuterol inhaler. And then going into fight week, I was still on antibiotics. So I'm cutting weight on antibiotics, still sparring. I remember sparring Naz while I was really sick. Naoki, which is a fighter from Japan, he was in the UFC. He went to the emergency room at the time. This kid was like 19, 20. He's even younger than me. So everyone was getting fucked up. Anyways, I fought. Thank God I won. It was a tough fight. You know, I was feeling it. But I won the fight. It was a 3-round war. After that, I went to Panama in March. So I go to Panama for a few days just to chill. I was at a bar now waiting to go to the airport before I come back. Me and my cousin get a text. Trump shuts down international travel. I'm like, yo, we're getting stuck in fucking Panama, bro. As we're at the bar, we get another text. Your flight's been delayed. I was like, bro, we're stuck. I was like, who the fuck knows what's going to happen? Anyways, thank God the flight gets delayed again. Then I really start shitting in my pants. I'm texting my family like, yo, I might get stuck in Panama. But thank God we end up coming back.
The same day?
Same night. Yeah, same night. So now after that, I had my first training session. This was peak COVID now. When everything was on lockdown. No one could go out. Everyone's scared to talk to each other. So I was in the house with Al and Naz. We were living together. Al Quinta. So we had a training session in the garage. And I just remember I did 1 round, bro. And I was fucking dying. And I never felt that before. Like ever. This was 2 weeks after the fight. So I was recovered. I was good. You know, I was drinking, but I've like went out, drank, partied, and went and sparred the next day.
Yeah.
I've done that plenty of times. And you'll feel it, but nothing felt like what I felt for this training session. And it was 1 round. So I remember telling Al, and Al remembers it too. Like, we talk about it now. And I was like, yo, after the session, I'm like, yo, bro, I felt really weird. Like, I can't breathe or something. He was, you're out of shape. You know, you're heavy. Anyways, time goes on. I'm only getting worse. I can't breathe. Like, I can't take deep breaths.
Even like normally?
Even normally.
Okay.
Even normally. Like, I'd be in the car. I remember one time I'm driving with Naz. I'm in the car, and then I'm just sitting passenger, and I'm like,
oh my God.
I'm like trying to take a deep breath. I was like almost hyperventilating, just sitting in the car. And he goes, Cuzzo, you all right? He's like, you good? I'm like, bro, I don't know. I can't take a deep breath. And this is summertime at this point, you know, months later. Very weird. So time's going on. I'm getting even worse. Then I start having like stomach issues, like bloating, diarrhea, constipation, like all types of weird stuff. it just keeps getting worse, dude. So eventually, they called me. I went to corner Aljo for the Sandhagen fight.
Okay.
So we were in training camp, and I'm feeling it, you know? Like, I'm thinking, like, I'll just train hard and I'll get past it. I'm good. But I was really feeling it.
Yeah.
Not even, like, being the one in camp. I was just being as a training partner. I was feeling it a lot, you know? Like, the exhaustion, heavy body, like, my brain's not working sharp. Like, I had bad brain fog, too. There would be moments, like, I don't know where I am. Like, I got concussed, bro, you know?
Wow.
Without even sparring or anything. So I was just attributing it all to training and stuff like that. I didn't know. I go corner Aljo for the Sandhagen fight. Then I get the call for Contender at the time.
Right.
They call me for Contender. Now I have no training partners at this point. You know, like Aljo's there, whatever. But the gym, everything was weird in New York, bro, during this time.
Yeah.
It's just peak COVID.
Yeah.
You know, in New York, it was a strict state, dude. Like, everything was messed up. So that whole camp, and you can ask, like, not to make excuse, but Aljo, Ray, Sarah, like, everyone, like, saw what I was going through at this time, and they remember, like, what you know, what I was going through. It was just a crazy thing. Like, I wasn't myself, you know, at all, by any means. Like, the breathing issues, I would get exhausted, couldn't breathe, and then something happened. I have a herniated disc in my neck, which it hurts me all the time, but I never had this problem. So as I was getting ready for the fight, so it's called a suprascapular nerve.
Okay.
It shut down in my shoulder for some reason. It got, like, impinged or something. The nerve from my neck wasn't firing into my shoulder. So then my infraspinatus muscle completely atrophied, which is a rotator cuff muscle. So now I had, like, I couldn't externally rotate with this arm. Like, I lost a lot of strength in this arm. I couldn't turn the wheel driving with it.
Wow.
That's how bad it was. So I was going through the breathing stuff, the stomach issues, the brain fog, and then my shoulder during the Contender Series camp.
Wow.
But once I signed the contract, bro, I'm not pulling out, you know, unless I break my leg, which has happened to me before.
Yeah.
You know, unless I break a bone and I can't move, then I'm not pulling out.
So that was, damn, that's a lot of shit.
This was a lot.
And honestly, and Melsik, so for the people that remember that fight, or that know Melsik Bagdasarian,
yeah.
who's he's a beast. I mean, he's good,
a beast,
man.
Bro.
It was a split. It was a split.
Unanimous,
yeah.
But
it was like
2-1.
2-1.
Yeah.
Because I remember, because at that point I didn't know you. I think I didn't know you, but I had kind of like just because I follow MMA, like I knew of you like that. And I remember I was like, damn, that was a good fight. You know what I mean? Like two bad motherfuckers. But that's crazy to know the whole backstory because I didn't know that. I just remember when I saw you with John last summer, I think it was, and you still had like you still had like lingering effects.
Yeah.
But you're not, now you're 100%?
I want to say 100. I still, like, sometimes it comes and goes. Like, the last few weeks, maybe because I haven't been eating as clean, like, perfect.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it a little bit. Like, today I'm okay. But sometimes I'll have, like, the bloating. Sometimes I won't be able to take, like, a complete deep breath. You know what I mean?
How'd you get from, like, the terrible spot to, like, at least closer to 100%?
Bro, so I fought the fight. After Contender, I lost. And then I was like, I'm going to take a month off. I'm not going to do anything except go to doctors, every doctor I can, and see what's going on.
Yeah.
I went to 2 different pulmonologists. I went to a cardiologist. I went to my primary doctor, got all my blood work done. I went to a gastrointestinal doctor for my stomach and insides. Like, everything, bro. I spent so much money. Like, everything I had, I spent on it. I was like, yo, I can't fight like this. I was like, how am I going to fight people like Melsik or Holloway or anyone in the UFC with my lungs, like, completely shot? So I went to a pulmonologist, and we did the pulmonary function test, and my lungs were functioning at 68%, bro. I lost like a third of my lung function at the time, which I haven't gone back yet, but I'm sure it's better. And we did so many tests, and they were like, I remember the number 68%. I'm like, yo, that's a third of my lungs that's like not functioning. You know, I couldn't believe it. And I remember telling myself, like, yo, I remember having to talk with myself, like, this might be my career right here, you know?
Yeah,
like,
no, I can imagine.
This is as far as I can go.
Are they telling you can fight on 68% capacity of, like...
No, bro, that's not even for a normal human.
Yeah, what is like a like when someone's deficient in that category, what is like a number that they're around?
I don't know, actually. I didn't ask that.
I'm curious.
It's a good question.
That doesn't sound good though.
But for a professional athlete,
For a professional athlete,
I was
definitely.
22 years old, you know, like that's not normal. I don't smoke. I mean, I'll drink if I go out.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not a recreational drinker by any means either.
Yeah.
I'm a healthy kid, you know. I'm a professional athlete.
And they said
at
it was
the end of the
COVID.
day.
They said it was all the COVID.
So now this is the thing. Now the doctors, this is what pissed me off. And this is what made it even 10 times worse. Because I would tell them everything that was going on, all my symptoms. And then the doctors would tell me maybe it's anxiety. Because COVID was new at the time. So they didn't know anything about it. All the tests come back clear. Like there was no inflammation in my heart, no inflammation in my lungs, just in my stomach. The nerve, when I went to the neurologist or whatever they're called, for my shoulder, they did like the EKG or EMG, whatever it's called. They saw that the nerve, I told them like, yo, look at this, check this nerve. Because it's such like a uncommon thing for this nerve to like shut down. So I was like diagnosing myself at this point. But then all the tests kept coming back clear and the doctors would tell me it's in my head. And that's what pissed me off even more. Because I'm like, they would say it's anxiety. I'm like, yo, I know what fucking anxiety is. Like, I fight in a cage, you know? I know, like, I know what it is. I know what being nervous is. And like, you know, being short of breath and all this, you know? So that got me even more mad. And then it put me into a deeper hole because I'm like, there's no answer.
Right, yeah.
You know? They gave me, like, all these types of steroids. They gave me inhalers, everything, bro. Nebulizers. They gave me like stomach medicine, everything, bro. Nothing helped. And then the worst thing that started coming up was the brain fog. So then I was actually telling Shane Burgos this stuff last night. We were DMing. I don't remember how we got into conversation.
He just had it, right?
Oh, so that's how it came up. Yes, because
when I was talking to him, that's what it is. Because I talked to him recently, he told me the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I was like, when are you gonna come back? And he was like, well, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, but yeah, but like whatever.
Yeah, he's been having some COVID stuff. I won't go into detail.
Yeah.
But we started talking and I started telling him about what I was going through because he asked me, he's like, if you don't mind me asking. And I told him like I was hearing things, felt like, and then Nas was in the house at the time too with us. So I literally thought, now this is how bad I got, you know? And it's like I never went public with it because I sound fucking crazy, bro. It's like embarrassing kind of. But I would be sleeping in the middle of the night. You know when like someone's staring at you and you feel them looking at you, it just takes your attention? I would be dead asleep, bro, 3 a.m. And I would just feel like someone's in my room staring at me. I'd open my eyes. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I'd think Al is in my room. Like he just opened the door to check if I'm all right or something, you know? Like I would feel like someone's staring at me.
So then you just like pop
Bro,
awake?
From dead sleep, I'll jump up, like I'll sit up out of bed like a fucking mummy and look around my room, pitch black, bro, and there's nobody in there. This would happen like every night. I'm like, nah, this is fucking scary. So I started locking my door and it would sound like there's footsteps in the room. Like I would hear scratching in the wall next to my fucking, like with nobody home either. Because Al would be in Vegas, Nas wouldn't be home. And Nas, there was a point Nas moved out, you know? So it was just me in the house. I would keep hearing this shit. And then like Nas started having his little stuff too, which made me think even more into it. I would like hear my name being called, nobody's home. Like the weirdest shit, bro. I literally thought...
What about when you were with your girlfriend? Like, you guys...
Bro, so there was one time she slept over, and she would feel weird when she would come over. There was one time she came and she was sleeping in the bed with me, and the craziest sleep paralysis happened to me. She thought I was just like choking while I was sleeping. She didn't know what happened. Like she saw the whole thing. But like I was pretty much like, there was like a little fucking demon thing choking me. These are like crazy things, you know?
Crazy.
A little demon thing was like, it pulled, like I had the sheets over my head, like the sheets were stuck behind my head, like over me. And I'm like suffocating. And then I'm like trying to wiggle my head out. And I feel pressure on my knee at this time, my right knee. I feel like it's elevated in the air. So I finally get my head out. I'm like suffocating. I look towards my foot, like towards my right leg, and it's pitch black in the room. But in the blackness, there's like a little figure, even blacker, with red eyes, wrapped around my leg, trying to break my leg, bro.
That's what you're seeing?
This is what I'm seeing. In the middle of the night, like a little demonic kid in the dark, trying to break my leg, bro.
Fuck?
My girl's in bed next to me, but I'm seeing this. So I blink, and then it's like the same visual. Imagine like this room. It's like black, and then you blink, and then the sun is out, and then it's just daytime. And then I look at her, and she was just like staring at me like terrified, you know?
Yeah.
And I'd explain it to her. I'm like, yo, was I like really suffocating? She's like, yeah. She's like, I thought you were like sleep apnea or something. You know, she didn't know what was going on. So she saw me go through it too. You know what I mean? It was very weird. And then one time we were at dinner. It was me and my girl and her sister with her fiance. We were at a restaurant. And this is the first time this ever happened to me. Actually, second time. So the first time, I'm sorry to cut back, but I was in the house alone. There was like a period where I wasn't staying at Al's house in Long Island. I was staying at my parents' more, just because I was so afraid to stay at home.
Wow. And
Al was gone. I think he was in Vegas for the time he was doing PT on his knee. And I remember I trained some kids at night, a few kids, and then I'm in the house alone. And then I'm counting the money. And then I just feel like something like right here over my shoulder. And it just felt like the most evil, demonic thing like ever. It was just like pure evil, bro. And it was almost like it was like growling in my ear. And then all of a sudden, I'm just like in the kitchen and I was like telling myself, like, don't pay attention, don't pay attention. Like, I'm thinking there's a fucking demon next to me, bro. I'm like, don't look at it, don't give it attention, you know, like pretend it's not there. So I'm counting the money and then I put the money in my wallet and then it just felt like it started choking me. And then I don't know if you ever done jiu-jitsu, like where you get caught in a choke and like you see yourself going out.
Yeah.
It was like that. So then like I felt like the tingles from like the top of my head come all the way down and my arms got heavy. I started sweating. And then like my legs like almost gave out on me, bro. And I'm in the kitchen, dude. Like nobody's home. But I literally felt like hands around my neck, like fucking choking me. Bro, I shut the lights off quick. I booked it out the house and I went back to Staten.
So all of these moments mostly are at the house?
At the house, yeah.
So like do you think it's like what do you think, like have you talked to a doctor about these specific things?
Not these things, because I know they'll just think I'm fucking crazy. That's why I never even talked about it in
or like a
public.
sleep doctor.
So I never had problems with sleep, but now, so then this same thing. No, I don't take anything.
See, because sometimes melatonin could do weird things with your dreams. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I was wide awake at this point.
No, yeah, for this you're wide awake,
Yeah.
but I'm talking about the sleep stuff. Yeah.
The sleep paralysis shit. Yeah, which I don't usually have. I used to have it as a kid. I used to get in have these weird dreams as a kid. I do have weird dreams a lot, you know, like weird dreams like this. I don't know why. But then there was another time I was at dinner with my girlfriend and her sister and fiance, and the same thing happened to me. Like they're telling a story, and then I just put my head down, and I'm like just looking down. And I just put my head in my hands, and then it was the same feeling. Like I just saw like the choking feeling. Felt like there was like evil around me, and then like my body just gets the tingles, and I just get up and I just run to the bathroom, and they're texting me like, "Yo, you all right?" So I just started praying in the bathroom. And then after all this, I ended up going to a priest. Like, bro, the whole thing.
Okay. This is crazy.
Yeah,
so like, what do you
nuts.
think this is? Because this doesn't sound like COVID.
So now this is the thing, bro. So like now I'm having like this thing where I can't breathe. I feel like I'm being choked. Now this is where it gets even worse. Is it COVID? Am I not getting oxygen? Am I physically dying?
Yeah.
Do I have to go to the hospital? Is it in my head? You know, now, and then that makes it even worse. Like, what's going on? You start like psyching yourself out.
This is crazy. Do you have a therapist in general?
I don't. I probably should have one.
I mean, I love therapy in general. Like me, I think everybody should, just for every reason under the sun. But like, I'm curious what I'm curious what the fuck this is.
Me too, bro. I still don't know.
It sounds like episodes too.
Yes.
It's not like every day, right?
No, not anymore. So now, at this point, I'm done. I'm like, yo, I'm not fighting anymore. I was like, in my head,
really?
there was a good 2 months at this point, and this was all happening after I fought in March.
When was after you fought?
I fought in Triton.
Okay, and then when did I saw your fight? The first fight in Atlantic City this year. It was like in October.
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 Yes.
And then the most recent one. Okay, so this was March last year, like
of
a year
2021.
ago.
Yeah.
You're telling yourself I'm not gonna fight anymore.
I'm done. I was like, I'm done. I can't even live. I was like, forget about train and fight other professional elite fighters.
Are you telling your girlfriend or anybody this at the time?
Just my girlfriend. I didn't.
So
tell
like
my
even
parents.
Al or has no idea.
No.
Like, wow.
No. And my girlfriend doesn't know the
But for
full
you,
thing.
what, you felt like embarrassed by this?
Definitely embarrassed. I thought people would think I'm crazy. People think I'm making excuses. You know, because at the end of the day, nobody really cares. You know.
I mean, look, I agree on that on some level, but I think like your friends care, your family care, like people that know you care, like your coaches care. You know, like there's a lot. But I understand what you're saying about that. But it's a weird thing too, because it's first of all, like whenever I hear like these fighters that get COVID, a bad COVID, it blows my mind too, because you guys are like the most healthy people in the world. So it shows that like there's something going on with this. But then like what you're describing now, this is like a whole different type of ball game. Well, I think it's concerning also just like as like a human being.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know what like, could it be like a mini stroke? I don't fucking know.
I don't know, bro.
That sounds strange.
Very scary. So now these things you're saying is I've had these talks with myself like, yo, what could it be? And then the tests come up negative, and I'm like, yo, I know it's not in my head. You know, so this was like a huge mental battle I had to go through with myself. And then I was in a Facebook group called like Survivor Corps for COVID.
Okay.
And then like so many people, bro, when I say so many, I mean like by the thousands having these similar symptoms.
Really?
With the people who shake. And even now, like I'll still have like a little bit of like, you know, when you're nervous or like anxious, you shake a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
I'll have that a little bit. You know when you drink too much coffee maybe and you kind of like jittery? I'll have that sometimes.
So it could be COVID.
I think it is COVID, you know?
Wow.
Now, why I think it affected me so much is because at the time, I didn't know what it was. I took antibiotics. I'm cutting weight. I'm training hard.
100%.
I'm completely destroying my body. It's as vulnerable as it could be. I might as well be 80 years old with no immune system.
100%.
So I think that's why it affected me so much. And some of these fighters who, like Hamza, who, like me, my mentality was like, oh, I'm sick. I'll fucking train twice as hard. I'll sweat it out.
Exactly. That's why I think a lot of you guys get fucked.
Exactly. That's what I think. So now, like, and I know a lot of my friends who have gotten sick, they just rested, who are way less healthier than me. I'm not going to say names, but they actually rested for 2 weeks and they're perfect.
Yeah.
So I think just for the like ignorance, I want to say like, oh, I'm going to train arrogance, maybe whatever. I'll train twice as hard. I'll sweat it out. Like maybe Hamzat has that same mentality.
I think
he got even hit harder, you know?
Wow, man.
Yeah, bro. I was going through a lot at the time. So I told myself like, I'm checked out. I'm done fighting for a while. Like completely actually.
And then, so then what was the change?
I gave it one last chance. I was like, I'm going to go to Albania. I'm going to go run in the mountains, swim, eat good. And there's a church in Albania. It's like a very holy land.
Yeah.
Like miracles happen there. Like people go in there. Like my best friend Dardan, his girlfriend, she was supposed to die at like 4 years old. And I don't want to go into detail. Like she had like some disease. Her parents brought her to Germany. Yeah, I don't want to go too into their business, but like all over, bro. And no doctor could save her. Their last like route was to bring her here just for a miracle, and then she was just healed.
Oh, so this is like the land.
This is a miracle place.
This?
It's called Kisha Lacit, which means like the Church of Lach. The area is Lach in Albania. Saint Anthony used to go there. He would ride his horse and he would dwell up in this mountain region, in this area. He would stay in the cave. And this place has crazy stories, bro. Like when they first built the church, like the people of the land, because they knew this saint would stay there, Saint Anthony, his name is, they would bring like the material up the mountain and leave it in one area, right? Every morning they'd go back, the material would miraculously be where the church is now. They'd bring the material back to this place where they wanted to build a church, and then it would just somehow end up back there. But this is like large material up in a mountain, bro. It's not like you're driving from Brooklyn to Staten Island. You know, this is up where there's no machinery, there's no nothing. You know, it's very hard to get up there, even with car, with anything. So that was one story. Another story is during communism, the dictator, he made a rule to go break any mosques and churches to destroy them. Because, as you know, in communism, there's no religion. So he made a rule, all the government, like the official soldiers, to go smash all the whole places of worship. 32 soldiers went to go hit this wall, like to break down the walls of the church with sledgehammers, and they all got paralyzed. 32 of them. This is a fact. 32 of them in this church. They tried, like the dictator tried to say it was like food poisoning or something, you know, like to try to swerve around it.
So this is like the holy
This
place.
is like people from all over the world go there.
Wow. So you went there.
I went there finally.
And so it's up in the mountains. So you're like running, swimming, like you're doing all these.
Yeah. So
the air quality is
much different.
Right.
Much different. And I know people here with like asthma or like postnasal drip from here will go there.
Wow.
And open it up.
You know how many feet
I don't know.
Altitude.
But so the running and training I was doing was in Shkodër, where I'm from.
Okay.
But I went up in the mountains in like Theth and these areas, like mountainous regions, the Alps of Albania. This church is in like a little bit more south in another mountain range. So I wasn't staying in this mountain range. I went up there for a day alone. There's just so many stories, bro. Like paralyzed kids walking. One time my girlfriend's cousin was there at mass, and then a deaf kid just started screaming, or a kid started screaming, and it turned out he was deaf and started hearing for the first time. So this place has crazy stories. Yeah, like insane. There's more than one. And like you ask a lot of Albanians, and they all have stories that they've seen or heard people getting healed.
This is crazy. I've never heard of this. This is insane.
Yeah, it's insane. I'll send you links to it. It's insane.
So then you went. And,
I went.
And what happened?
I just stayed there, and I just like. I just stayed there and I just observed everything, you know, for this time. And not even my family, nobody, not my girlfriend. This is my first time like ever being vocal about my experience there. Nobody even knows I really went there.
Wow.
So I just went there and I told myself like, yo, I'm not expecting anything, you know? And I went there for the reason for it to be my last kind of like resort.
Right.
An Albanian guy, a sponsor, Linde Sadiq, I'm gonna say his name, Triangle Scaffolding, he had given me $5,000 to go. He's like, yo, because he's like, you make us so proud when you win and you put the flag up. He's like, I want you to go, take this money, go there with no stress, no nothing, take it and just be free, you know?
That's awesome.
He's like, go, if you think it'll help you, he's like, I want you to go. So he gave me $5,000 to go. And Gazmen Blota, the two of them, they really did that for me. That was amazing.
That's amazing.
So I went up there and I was just praying, you know, just sitting on the benches, just watching all the people praying and like the kids in the wheelchairs they would bring up like to the top of this mountain, you know. I didn't see anything crazy myself that day, but I just remember being at peace and just thinking like, you know what, man, like life is good. I'm blessed, you know, God blessed me. Whether I fight again or I don't, I'm happy with everything. I'm starting to like tear up a little bit. And then I remember seeing a guy there. He was like, because there was so many candles, like the wax would drip. And he was just there, like shoveling it and cleaning everything, this old man. And I felt so bad for him. And it was like 110 degrees that day. And we're in the top of the mountain, dude. It's like the Sahara Desert. This guy's in jeans, you know, old man. And over there, like a can of Coke is 50 cents, bro. It's a third world country. So I remember I pulled out like a 20, what would be $20 US. Yeah. And I went to go give it to him. I don't know why, just like out of the kindness of my heart. It's just something like, I just felt like doing it. And he wouldn't take it, bro, no matter what. But I was like, I just told him, please. Like, I was like, for me, just take it, you know, for my own, just because I want to. So he finally took it. He's like, God bless you, may God bless you. And I went down. I was just taking deep breaths up there. I just kept praying, just relaxing, you know, just watching everyone, just being at peace, bro. And I came down. I didn't feel any different. I'm like, man, I was like, at least I tried. You know, I'm telling myself I accepted it. I was done. This was in the summer right now, bro, in August.
Okay.
Then I came down, picked up my dad at the airport because he had just gotten there. The next day now, I go on the beach and it's like 110 degrees out. I'm on the beach. I'm like, I'm going to go for a run. And I went out that night. I slept like 2 hours and I drank. So I was beat up. Barely ate, drank a lot of alcohol. It's like 110 degrees out.
Awesome.
And I'm on the beach. Yeah. Perfect vacation. At this point, I'm like, yo, I'm done.
Yeah.
But I was like, let me go for a run on the beach. Bro, that day, I did 5 miles on the sand with like 110 degrees out. No water, like I said, alcohol in my system. And I remember sending it to Ray. And I was like, yo, I'm back.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that. And then I started like just running and I felt good. And then I had a broken collarbone too. I forgot to mention this.
I remember this, actually.
I broke it in July. So at this point, I was in Albania and I'm running and I'm still training around my broken collarbone. And then I came back because I wanted to fight in October, the fight that you came to. So now I came back to the doctors and my bone was like healed. My collarbone like completely fused. It was like 4 or 5 weeks. It was like perfect.
Wow. Doctors
were like, yo, whatever you did and whatever you're doing, just do that. And I was drinking colostrum, which I think was helping a lot. It's like a little Albanian remedy.
Okay.
So when a mammal, like a cow, for example, I was drinking the cow colostrum. When it gives birth, the first milk is like gold. It's like yellow.
Okay.
And that's where all the vitamins are and the nutrients,
Wow.
like the growth hormones and everything for like the little baby
Oh, right,
to grow.
right. Okay.
So I was drinking that every day.
That's the magic potion.
That's the magic, yeah. So now I came back and my bone was like perfect within like 4 or 5 weeks. It was like unbelievable, maybe 6 weeks. And I got right back into training. So now the rest is history, bro. I was perfect.
Wow.
I felt unstoppable going into that fight.
I mean, there's also, it's so interesting. So how long from before, like when you were having like the bad symptoms of the breathing, then you go to Albania and then to this run, like how much time, you took time off to rest basically?
Yeah.
Because you're telling yourself I might not fight again.
Yeah.
So how much time was that?
So when I fought Contender, which was September, I fought September 1st. So from September 1st, I remember to November, like mid-November, I did nothing except go to doctors.
Okay.
So that was about 2 months. And then after I fought in March.
But when you went to Albania, how long was that time that you were?
How long was I in Albania? I was there for like 2 weeks, maybe.
Okay.
But
for the
18 days.
Other than that run that you just spoke about, you didn't really do any training.
I was up in the mountains, and I was going to some Taekwondo place just to stay busy. I would just run and just do legs, really. Just mainly running though.
And then,
swim.
so then afterwards, you felt like you were like, I'm back.
I felt like nothing ever
It's so funny
happened, bro.
because I remember, I think I was either texting you or something, where I think you even said that to me, or maybe it was when we saw, I don't know when, but like I remember just like the difference between when I had seen you before, where you were like very deflated about your physical condition, and then you were like, dude, I'm good, like I'm good. It's crazy.
It is crazy. You remember we were up? I think it was at STK.
Yeah.
I remember. I think I was talking about it at that time.
Yeah.
And then everyone too in the gym, like even especially Weidman. Weidman would ask me the most, like, cause he noticed it the most, cause we like thrive off each other's energy.
Yeah.
And like he noticed, he's like, yo, and now we talk about it, cause he came to my the fight I got the knockout in. That you came to in October. We were having like the night before, we were having like the post weigh-ins, post weigh-ins dinner. And I was telling him all this that I'm telling you, and he's like, bro, I swear to God, I remember you. He's like, this isn't Buzukja. He's like, I remember thinking to myself, like, this isn't the superstar kid that I know, you know, because we joke. He's like, he calls me his next superstar.
Yeah.
He's like, you know, you weren't yourself at all, bro. He's like, not your fighting style, not your attitude, not your character at all.
Wow.
I was not myself at all, bro.
So do you feel like, other than the sleep stuff and all that, do you feel like physically though you're in your or you said close to 100%, but like you feel like you're at your best?
Yeah, I feel amazing now.
Like if you had like, well, you're not in a full camp, but like assuming full camp, you feel like you go in and you're the best version of yourself.
Yeah, hands down, ever. Wow. And from the mental strength, from everything and the life experience that everything I went through, it just molded me into a monster, you know?
So I feel like at this point, it's kind of like figuring out what this like sleep paralysis, like that stuff is, or like that for me, just as your friend, concerns me most than anything. Because that you just is like so like episodic. You don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah, bro.
And that's got to be still like scary for you, thinking like, is this going to happen now? Like,
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if we get that under control, then you're you know?
I don't know, bro. Doctors don't know. I gave up on doctors, honestly.
No, but what about like, because I do think I'd be curious to see what like a trained like psychologist thinks about, like, I don't know if that's a mental thing or if that's like a physical, you know what I mean? Where like if maybe your body shuts down at weird times. I don't fucking know.
Maybe. So one thing I'm kind of like self-diagnosing here that I've noticed that I like listening to my body. Gluten has been a huge problem for me lately, the last few months.
Well, if you feel bloated at times, stuff.
Yeah.
Too, like,
so now I did like a test. Now
for celiac.
No, like a self-test.
Okay.
You know, I never went and got tested actually, which I want to do. Now the Italian kids came back for like 8 weeks before the last fight. They were cooking pasta every single day, you know, by the pounds, because I eat a lot of carbs because I train so much. So now I felt great up until they came. Like all this stuff was gone. They came and I'm eating so much pasta every day, and then bloating came back, the breathing problems came back, the
Oh, that's
brain fog.
interesting.
I'm like, yo, what's going on? And then I was thinking about it, and then I remember I think my girl told me about something she saw on TikTok about like this lady she didn't, her kids like weren't speaking until 5 or something. They were slow, like autistic. And then she found out they have like the celiac disease. So they took the gluten out and they're perfect, you know, which is crazy. So I was like, yo, maybe I'll cut the gluten out. So I tried it for 2 weeks. Everything went away.
Wow.
So now,
I don't know. maybe these are all conspiracies. Who knows?
I think it is. But maybe, you know what?
I feel like you like your conspiracies.
I'm a conspiracy
I
guy,
know.
bro.
I could tell.
You say the Illuminati did it, I'm believing it, bro. The Illuminati gave me COVID. I swear to God.
The Illuminati created COVID too. That's crazy though.
Yeah,
Wow.
weird stuff that who's to say is right or wrong? I don't know. All I can say is I know what makes me feel good or what doesn't make me feel good. I'm thinking maybe the COVID made so one thing the doctors did say is COVID. Now people with high antibodies, which I had crazy antibodies. COVID sometimes like your body from COVID, like the antibodies linger and your body's like forever fighting COVID as long as these antibodies are still in you. So I guess like with people like with the long COVID, they have so many antibodies, the body's still like, the immune system's still like hyperactive.
Interesting.
That it's still like fighting a disease. It feels like it. That's why the body's so run down. So that might be a possibility. But I think maybe COVID now made me like sensitive to gluten. Possibly, I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. But I noticed that, but I know gluten isn't good for anyone regardless.
Yeah,
It's not
generally,
good for you.
yeah. So then other than that, you're eating super clean then?
For the most part, yeah. I never really drink like that, you know, and especially now, like if I drink at all, like even one drink, I'll get crazy heartburn. Like I don't feel good. So I kind of don't even drink at all anymore, you know?
Man, so right now you're training normal? Full time?
Yeah, yesterday I told you I trained like pretty much 4 times yesterday.
Fuck.
If I feel good, I'm gonna go hard.
And for so for Aljo's camp, were you how involved were you with that? Because I feel like I saw you were there a fair amount.
Yeah, I was pretty much his main his training partner for that fight, for the Peter Yan fight.
So okay, so for that, I'm curious because I haven't talked to you really since then. Did you and now he put in a big camp, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
10 weeks?
10 weeks, I believe, yeah.
At in Long Island?
So he started it in Vegas. First, he was supposed to fight Yan.
Oh right, that got rescheduled. 9 times.
Yeah, because he had gotten the surgery. So he was sparring, but he wasn't recovered from the surgery. He was getting exhausted, like his arms weren't literally not working. So then he went back to Vegas. He was training there for a bit, and I guess he wasn't like feeling good and moving good. And the doctors ended up not clearing him from the surgery. So that's why he had to pull out. So then after that, he was doing a lot of PT for a few weeks. I don't know how long. Then he started his camp in Vegas and then finished it, like, I think the last 6 weeks in New York with us.
Wow. And did you notice, like, with a guy like that, do you notice the difference between week 6 and then down to the last week?
Bro, I remember, like, every single sparring session, it got harder and harder to deal with him. And I was training too. But I wasn't, like, training to get ready for a fight, you know? So he's progressing a lot faster than I am, just keeping up with him. But I remember the last sparring session, fucking, bro, he came crazy. Even in the 5th round, he was coming out like crazy. He might have threw like 100-something punches just in the 5th round of us sparring.
Fuck. And so what moment, because you were telling me before he started, like, you knew he was going to win?
I knew he was going to win, bro, no matter what. As long as he just did what I told him, well, yo, just do what like everyone told him, just do what you did in the training and sparring. This fight is yours.
How different, like, when what was he doing in the training and sparring? Was he going for those takedowns and, like, trying to backpack the way he did in the fight?
Yeah, that's his game plan always, bro, you know? But
his body lock is so...
It's insane,
it's
bro.
insane.
Yeah, it makes me want to... Like, I almost threw up a few times.
Really?
Yeah,
it's like that tight.
Yeah, it's bad.
And so it's like because his leg is just on your stomach, like...
He just, like, he's just so physically, like, wrestling strong. He has, like, a different grip strength from all the years of grappling. And also, he knows when to squeeze, where to squeeze, how long. Like, if he has a body triangle, for example, like, there's a point where he'll squeeze his arms where he's choking you and you're fighting the hands, but he'll leave his legs loose. And so he doesn't burn out his legs. And then when his arms start getting a little heavy, he'll lock up the legs tighter so it sucks your wind out. So you're getting choked from up here when he's choking with the hands. Even if he doesn't have a deep choke, you're getting suffocated. Then he'll go back down to the body while his arms are resting, and then he'll backpack off that, top bottom. But the whole time you're suffocating.
Because I thought, I mean, honestly, in that fight, it was so impressive because he showed such the adjustments were perfect.
Yeah.
Because you could tell the first fight, the issue is that he came out too hot. And then he just kind of gassed himself a little bit and he slowed down. And Peter Yan is an unreal athlete.
He's a monster.
So it's but then in that second fight, he paced himself. He found the moments. When he got to the back, he stayed there.
Yeah, he didn't rush.
It was everything was just perfect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he definitely, he followed the game plan perfectly. But then the biggest thing, bro, is really he didn't eat that first fight. He cut the weight. Imagine you cut all that weight, you rehydrate the day of, the Thursday, Friday, right? Saturday morning comes fight day. He just had, so we were quarantined at the time. This was still during quarantine.
Oh, right.
So we ordered food from Broken Yolk, this cafe. He just had a pancake and 2 eggs all day, bro. After cutting weight, you should still be rehydrating and fueling up. That's all he had all day. And I remember thinking I remember asking him, yo, bro, do you want to eat a little more? You good? He's like, nah, I'm good. And I was like, all right. And we were in the back room for that fight, warming up. And I remember, I broke his grip. His grip wasn't as strong as it usually is because I have to really work to break his grip. I'm a little bigger than him, But it broke a little easier. I remember thinking, his arms feel a little weak in the back room. I didn't say it in the moment, he's about to fight. But then, after everything, now that he won, we talk about it. I was like, yo, I remember in the back room, your grip was a little weak. I knew you weren't feeling good.
Yeah.
I felt it in the warm-up with him before the fight. But then this fight, when we were warming up, he was launching me with one arm, literally lifting me up with one arm, like a WWE
he
move.
looked in unreal shape.
Yeah, he was
shredded.
Dude, we were doing Shark Tank rounds. We were putting him in bad positions. So he would do 6 5-minute rounds. Every half round, switch person and 30-second rest when he was in his peak. That's unbelievable, bro.
That's unreal.
And we're all pros. Marab, me, Delemy, all these guys.
Wow.
Every half round, he's switching. He's doing 6 rounds straight with 30-second rest. And he's destroying us.
No, I was so happy for him. I was so happy for you. I was so happy for all you guys because that was just it was just so impressive. You know what I mean? Especially because you saw him. What was it like after the illegal knee when you were with him? What were the conversations like?
So I remember we walked to the back room and he couldn't even walk straight. I had to put his arm around my shoulder when we were
I remember seeing a video of that. I think I saw a video of that.
Yeah, there was one point where I think Nixick was holding him, and then I don't know if he went to go grab some stuff, but then me and Aljo went to the. I don't remember what happened exactly. I think they brought Aljo in the ambulance, and I brought him to the ambulance, but I had to hold him with his arm around me and stuff, and then I was holding the belt with him and everything, and we finally, after a few hours, we get back to the house, and he was still kind of out of it, and all of his friends were cheersing him. He wasn't really in the mood to, but then his friends were telling him yo, say I'm a champion, trying to uplift him after after everything that happened, just being good friends, bro.
Yeah.
That's when the video came out and they were trying to make it seem like Aljo's celebrating and parading with the belt.
Yeah.
So it was just bro, it's typical media, bro. They twist the story and make it seem to play a narrative, which that wasn't what it was at all.
Yeah.
And then once all this hate started coming out, Aljo was like, yo, fuck these people, bro. I'm gonna troll them,
Yeah.
So
now he's trolling heavy.
Yeah,
I love it. So for you, I guess I think when this comes out, it will have broken, but we got a little fight. We got a little fight coming.
Yeah. So July 26th, Contender, first episode of the season.
And they don't tell you where on the card you're gonna be?
No, not yet.
I feel like you'll probably be close to the top.
I'm hoping main event.
I'm hoping main event for you too.
Yeah.
What's your mentality going into your second Contender Series?
So,
because I think that's an advantage.
Yeah, definitely. I've been there, and I've been in the Apex so many times,
Apex
cornering Aljo.
Yeah.
I fought there.
Yeah.
You know, like people find out now and they're like, "Oh, congratulations." I'm like, I really don't give a shit. You know, like the first time I was like, "Oh my God, I made it." I got so caught up in the moment. Oh, my dreams are coming true. Now it's just like, yo, I gotta go take care of business. I gotta break this guy's face, finish him in front of Dana, talk my shit, get that contract, and take over the game. It's business now. You know, there's like an Eminem song, "Lose Yourself." It's like I was playing in the beginning, the mood all changed.
Yeah.
That's really how it feels like now.
Really?
You know, like it's not a game anymore. Now I'm here to kill everyone.
It's so funny because like so for people that haven't seen you fight, when I saw you in Atlantic City in October, I was so impressed. Like, I'm biased because like I'm always rooting for you. But what I was incredibly impressed by was like that place, first of all, is packed with Albanians. And y'all motherfuckers are the craziest people I ever met. And you're like so like they're so like pro Albania, like it's all about like our brothers, our sisters. I love that part. It's all about family. It's all about like your countrymen, like all of that. And you like packed that little venue, and like I was so impressed at how you first of all your performance was, you took care of business, but like that's a lot of pressure on you.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you knew it wasn't a secret. Like 99% of the people there were there for you.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Like you feel that pressure?
I do. Yeah, I definitely do. It keeps me up at night. Even now, like it'll keep me up at night. I have problems sleeping because of stuff like that.
So you think
it
it's
hits me.
Okay? Interesting.
It's pressure, stress, but it depends on who you are. Will you use it as fuel and motivation, or will you succumb to it and be like, "Oh my God, this is too much"? I use it as fuel. If I'm feeling lazy or tired, like it's a slap in the face to everyone who believes in me, who's proud of me winning, who, when I raise that red and black flag, that they feel like they're winning too. So I feel like it's about more than just me. It's about more than just my family. It's about a whole race of people.
Is it hard for you to not, because like now that we like the Contender Series fight is announced, is it hard for you to like not look ahead too much? Because like I don't even know if is there an Albanian UFC fighter?
There's Ilir Latifi.
Ilir.
And then Ramiz Brahimaj is in there now.
He's Swedish.
Yeah, he's from
Albanian.
Sweden. Yeah.
Oh right, and Ramiz,
he grew up in the Bronx.
Okay. Oh, interesting. I know that.
Yeah.
But like, I think undoubtedly, when you get into UFC, like you become that next their little golden child of Albania.
Oh, it's possible. That's why Paradigm picked me up.
Yeah.
They say I got that like McGregor thing with the Irish and the Albanians. Yeah. I got like that kind of like a cult following. Everyone uses this word.
No,
cult
it is.
Following,
oh, the Albanians are 100% cult. 100%. I like debate, bro. Yeah.
So I think, I think I'll definitely have a good following and a good backing.
But how do you stay focused knowing you're so close to your goal? Because that's tough.
So yeah, it is tough, and it depends. Like people, I'm not the type to let it blow my head up.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna talk my shit, I'm gonna talk my shit because I'm gonna talk my shit. At the end of the day, though, bro, if everyone loves you when you're winning, but if you lose, nobody knows you.
Yeah.
So I just keep the mentality, win or lose, I'm gonna go forward on the next fight with the same mentality. Yeah. Just go hustle, work hard, and because the next fight's the next fight. It doesn't mean I could be on a 20-fight win streak, but this next guy is the next guy.
Right.
I don't know if that makes sense at all.
No. Yeah. 100%. I mean, and it's so, and I told you I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna get Laura to get me tickets, but I booked my flight. Yeah, it's a big moment, and I think what's hard is like, I can't imagine what it's like for you when you feel kind of the overwhelming pressure, because that's gotta be paralyzing sometimes too.
Yeah.
Like, you're a human being. Like 100%. You're confident, you're all these things, you're talented, but at the end of the day, you're also a human being. Like, it's normal to feel nervous. It's normal to feel
100%.
like, and so I guess my question for you also is like, when did you started? How long you been doing this thing?
Like training or like competing?
Full MMA.
Full MMA. Honestly, I started at 19. I'm 24 now.
Wow, so it's only been 5 years.
Yeah, I started at 19 at law, and I got on Contender at 22.
Wow. Before that, you hadn't touched anything, any gyms or any of that?
I did boxing.
Oh, so you
judo.
So you started with the boxing background.
Yeah.
Boxing and judo background?
Yeah, and like Karate and judo is what I really started with when I was
When you
8.
Oh, when you were 8.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been like kind of fighting.
Yeah, like training and like little karate tournaments. I did a lot of karate tournaments and like judo tournaments, since I was a kid.
And then what point did you tell yourself I'm gonna be an MMA fighter?
So I took an amateur MMA fight. I had no idea what I was signing up for when I was 18. Yeah, I was 18. The guy was 23. I took it. I got the call from my coach at the time. He was like, "Oh, you want to fight?" I'm like, "All right, fuck it. Why not? I'll go." So I go. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, bro. I knocked the guy out in the first round, and then everyone was going crazy, and it was just the sickest adrenaline rush. I was like, "Oh, I like this." I could beat people up, and people love me for it. So I was like, I want to keep doing this. So I did another one. I fought for dead serious, but I ended up losing on points. The guy just wrestled me, but I lost, and I'm like, damn. I was like, I have good striking for where I'm at, but I was like, I have no ground game. I was like, I got to get with a good team. I was like, and if I'm going to do it, I got to be with the best. That's how I ended up at Saralongo.
Wow. Man. So you've only been fighting as like MMA for 5 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess. And then figure COVID took pretty much a lot of it out too. Yeah.
Wow. See, but that's also got to be, bro, like think about the potential. You're 24.
Yeah, 24, bro. Yeah. I got a long ride to go.
Especially because like a lot of these fighters are peaking at like 32, 33. How old is Aljo?
Aljo's 33. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I agree with you.
Like that, imagine 9-10 years what you could do.
God willing, 3-time world champ. That's my goal, bro.
Really?
45, 55,
So okay,
70.
when I say, like when we think, okay, let's say 3 years, where do you hope to be in 3 years?
3 years, I would say featherweight champ.
Okay.
Featherweight champ.
10 years?
10 years?
3-time?
3-time multiple defenses, all of them.
What?
McGregor status at that time, yeah. Bigger.
Different weight classes?
Different weight classes.
You go down to 35 easy?
I can't.
So 55?
I'm 178 right now.
So 55?
Yeah, 45, 55, 70 is my thing.
You think 70? You'd have to bulk though for that.
I'd bulk, but I'm still growing.
How tall are you?
5'10".
Okay, yeah. So Usman's like 5'11" or something? 5'10"?
Yeah, I mean, you got guys like Hamza. Hamza's huge, bro. 6'2". He's a monster.
He could fight at 185 or even like 205, honestly.
Look, that 170 would be doing something like uncharted territory,
Dude, man, you're hyping me up right now. Well, I'm excited because like it's I mean, and I didn't even know a lot of these things that you told me today, but it's made you stronger in a lot of ways, mentally, physically. Like the fact that like a year ago you were telling yourself I might not fight again.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
And now you're on Contender Series, on the verge of UFC.
Yep. They actually called me for Contender last year too.
Oh, right.
But I turned it down.
Yeah.
Because I said I wanted more experience, which is true. I did want more experience, but I was in no position to fight or to compete. You know what I mean? I was like, I can't go fight like this and blow my shot. I already fought one time. So I had to say no. And but now it's just the right time, bro. It's my time. It's just my time. I worked so hard. I overcame so much. My experience went up so much since the last fight. And I almost beat Melsick. I had some really good moments in the fight. And he's doing great in the UFC now. So I just think, like, no matter who they put in front of me, bro, I'm going to fucking kill them. No matter what. I don't care. I didn't even watch this guy's fight. I haven't watched his fights. I don't care. I watched like a little bit. I remember we talked about it. And that's it. Since then, I didn't even look him up, I don't even care. I'm just going to go. I'm focused on me. I know what I'm going to do. I know what I can do. And I'm going to just go do it. And then when the pressure's on, I love that shit, bro.
I don't even think I got anything else to say. That's a perfect way to wrap. But, man, I'm excited. I'm happy that we did this. I'm happy to have you on again in the future. I'm happy to be there July 26th.
Nah, you're the man, bro.
Y'all tune in. You'll see me in the background going nuts.
Going crazy, yeah, with an Albanian flag. We got to get you an Albanian flag.
Yeah, getting the Albanian flag.
I'm going to get you an Albanian flag.
No, but I'm just happy for you in general, just to, I'm a little worried about those episode things.
Yeah.
Because that just like that scares me for you as a person. But other than that, the health seems much better.
Yep.
Which is very, very important. Girlfriend, she's happy. You're happy. Family seems like they're in good shape.
Yep.
and we got a fight coming up soon, and you're about to be in the UFC.
God willing. Yeah, God is good, man.
Inshallah, brother.
Inshallah. Yep.
But I appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you, bro. For real. Thank you, man. You've always been a good dude.
I know you're my guy. Love you, bro. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram at felix.levine, and if you have something to say, please leave a comment.